Hey, we got Drewz Viewz here back for a little Anime Monday, reacting to anime on Monday. And what a Monday of anime it is. It is the series finale of Revolutionary Girl Utena. That's right, we are finally here, Eric. We are at the finale. We're done with all this penultimate stuff. It's episode 39. How are you feeling?
How am I feeling? We did it. My friends, what are we fighting for? It's over. We won.
What is that? What's that quote from? Which War or whatever is that one?
Oh, it's from Empty Chairs at Empty Tables, one of the banger tracks off of Les Mis. One of the most famous works of American musical theater. Gotcha. Might be British.
Starting off early with the musical references today, and we haven't even started the episode, so you are coming in hot for the finale here.
I am ready to have the last 4 or 5 things explained to us. I think, as you mentioned in the last episode, you wanted more viewers, so I went back and watched it. And I think between seeing us watch it again and reading all of the comments, that I have a loosely unified theory of what the fuck is going on. I'm just ready to stab that in the heart and get it done with.
All right, well, yeah, and speaking of empty chairs, etc., is Utena's chair herself gonna be empty? Is she dead? The last episode ended with Andy stabbing her through the back, basically, right?
She certainly will not be dead. I'm confident in that.
Well, yeah, I wanted to go into some of these comments. We got quite a handful here. Some people saying similar things. A lot of it about why Andy did what she did. There's a lot of it seems like reading these comments is a fairly unified theory as to why, which also leads me to believe it's not going to be something that would be spoiled. It's not going to be, she's not going to start this episode being like, and here's why I did this,
Right.
But what is the theory, or what not that you're just referencing, or what are some of the things here that you, going into this finale, that you're thinking might happen, or?
Well, basically what I've taken was Ender's comment and Dr. Dune's comment and kind of mashed them into one thing, right? Specifically the Akio being completely full of shit and the many things he says contradicting each other. Yeah, I mean, that and the auntie turning against her at the end. This is kind of like an abuse fable here at the end.
Right.
I think. Also, one thing I noticed, so they've done like a people losing their minds about all the background materials and the tile on the floors in the hotel, in The Shining. Level of attention to detail and some of this background stuff here, and I think it is largely a visual metaphor. That's supposed to push you toward understanding what it won't say out loud. Like how the prince was a statue that kind of looms over the final battleground, and eventually it crumbles, and then, one of our commenters mentioned something about that it may have actually been Auntie controlling the projector, so that when she started to try to help Utena, everything kind of freaked out. Or when Utena was winning the duel, it kind of freaked out.
Interesting. I think I missed that comment, or that part of the comment. So Auntie, or Akio rather, is he said he's the prince. This comment by Fossa says his prince form is from when he was as a teenager, and now he's a grown man. I think if he remained to be the prince, he wouldn't have been aged like an immortal being. But since he stopped being the prince and stopped being noble and pure, that resulted in him aging and becoming a dirty adult. That's what the comment essentially says there. So are we taking it that though? So the prince was still a teenager or whatever when he saved Utena when she was in the as a kid in the coffin, and then he's only actually aged in the past 10 years or whatever. Or am I reading into that the wrong way, do you think?
Because I think at a certain level magic exists in this story, and so the rates at which they've aged cannot be scientifically reverse engineered, right?
But that makes sense. But I'm thinking is in the past, so they've been around hundreds of years. 100 years ago, did he have the adult form again? Then he went back down to being the teenage prince or whatever. I'm wondering, is it moving back and forth based on what he wants?
That's some of the shit that we're left to wonder, right? One of the commenters mentioned this too. It's how many times has this dueling game played out? What is he what are they doing the dueling game for, really? What is the revolution?
Right. Because if he is like the devil, as we've thought for a while, or people have said, the devil would, you know, do stuff like this from time to time or all the time, throughout, periodically or whatever, mess with humans and try to get them to join him, etc. And then, I don't know if there's a comment about this specifically, but is what he was trying to do last time, like the devil thing of like join my side, like when he's trying to get Utena to be his princess, and like what is his end goal there exactly? And is it Anthe by stabbing her just help him get his goal, or did that throw a wrench into that as well? I'm assuming not, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a popular trope of genre fiction and heroes' journeys too, right? The villain who actually, you know, thinks that maybe as you're about to destroy them that you should join them instead. Like that's what is that? Star Wars 6, right?
Oh, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Famously, other stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank now because of course I am. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I'm just saying with this whole continuing metaphor, and it's not like some of the idea of this dueling and what we're seeing, the visuals is more original than the actual story, maybe, or themes. Perrin says, the way the vibrant red skirt of Anthe's dress surrounds Utena as she collapses from being stabbed gives you the visual of blood pooling without actually needing to explicitly show blood. It's very cool. I agree. That's a good comment. I agree. I like that too. Speaking of visual stuff, is there anything else from the comments or anything we want to? Oh, I do want to say one thing. I guess we might talk about.
Yeah, we need to address that.
A couple comments talking about the movie, because I brought that up. It seems like everyone would want us to watch it, or even if they are, this seems to be a mixture of views on actually how good it is. But I think Ender Valentine says it is. They say some people say it's a shortened retelling of the anime with added content, and some people say it's a sequel. It's hard to tell. In the end, maybe it doesn't matter. But they say they rewatch it all the time and they love it. I think there was some other comments saying it'd be cool to watch, but it's not that important, or it's not as good. So I don't know, but it does seem like it's not going to be like if it is a sequel, I assume it's going to be parts kind of in between what goes on in the show or something, one of those type of deals, rather than like a whole. Well, I mean, I guess we got to see what happens at the end of this year. Also, we are watching. That's probably what you thought I was about to get into. We are watching a version I found online. I won't divulge the source.
We paid for it.
It's not YouTube. Yeah, we're watching this other version. People have said, please watch not the YouTube one, because the YouTube one doesn't have some essential post-credit scene. So hopefully the one we found is the real one to watch. I guess there was a post-credits last time we didn't watch. That wasn't as important, but the Greek chorus came in, I guess, after the credits last time. I did mention during the episode, like, oh, they're not in this one, so I guess that's where they were found. Maybe we'll go back and watch that later, but I don't know. I'm raring to go here to get into this here episode, which is called And Someday Together We'll Shine. So let's go ahead and shine on, Eric. Let's do it. Yeah, just starting out, no intro this time.
I wonder if these would have aired like back to back or something.
Yeah, maybe. And this is a replay of what Anthe's about to do, it looks like.
She's already stabbed her, I think.
No, I think, see here. Oh, well, maybe she did, but the sound just came in at least.
No, maybe,
There's that blood Drewz pool we just mentioned. Y and D. She did kind of say why, I guess.
これはゲームではないと。革命という名の決闘か。彼女は俺たちデュエリストの代表としてじゃあデュエリストでいるべきだ。
私はもう外しちゃったわ。
Fucking
Well, you were one of the original ones.
忘れてしまえるものかな。
You might be able to forget knowing what goes on in this.
Everyone will forget everything.
忘れてしまったの。昔
私の姉さんがまだ幼い頃、川で溺れそうになったことがあってね。
The prince?
ようとして川に飛び込んだ少年、近くにいた大人の人に助けられたんだ。姉さんを助けようと川に飛び込んだその少年の本は流されて
死んじゃったの？
その少年の名前って冷たい人だなと思った。返そうとしてみたら、私もいつの間にか忘れてしまっている。
Way to bring down the mood, Jerry.
Yeah, ruining the barbecue.
ね
That's my girl.
え、どうして今そんな話を？
He does seem to want that sword because he's like, he was saying last time, like,
Yeah.
girls don't need to fight with swords anymore, or you don't need to.
友達を不幸な目に遭わせてしまった。全ては俺のせいだ。こんな俺のことは嫌いになった。俺がかつてのように王子様を目指したお前の傷も苦しみもいつも好みに感じ。
She's still moving.
Well, yeah, she's definitely not dead.
あなたは世界のすべてを知った上でこの道を選んだ方で。
知った上で愛している。
はい、お兄様。
剣を。それでいいんだわ。いい子だね。
Was that flower wilting, or was that just like a cool effect?
Not sure.
バラの門する力を封印したと。
Very cool sound effect.
Who's coming?
ダメだよ。
Say Anthe, at least it's shorter when you're dying.
深いな勇者さん
Less syllables.
友達の気分で。さよなら。ダメ。
100万本の剣か。この王子の剣を見て色めき立っている。
Pyramid of hate swords.
エレミア！エレミア！
Uh-huh.
She's once again taking everyone's hate.
王子様の身代わりになってきる。
The Sin Eater, you call him
Right, right, right.
全ては
I did not want to be born.
今こそ封印を破る扉が開くとき。
アキオさん、エレミアを。
動かない方がいい。
Hmm.
後で手当てしてあげるから。
Young Prince stuff.
優しい子だね。あそこにバラの形の門がある。扉には永遠が輝くものがの力があれば何でもできる。君には無理だ。それに力もない。力があれば何で解放することもできる。だけど力をどう使うかは
俺が決めることさ。
そう情けない顔するなよ。今まで頑張ったんだから、今まで大事にしててくれてたんだね。ご褒美にキスしてあげよ
Kiss the ring.
う。くさみだよ。
Why did he set up the whole thing? I guess that's just like the magic, the rules of the magic that they have set up here. If he intended to be the one to go through the door anyway,
He can't get in.
why did he need?
剣でもまた種取り戻せる。
Oh, he has lost the power. Yeah, because like during the,
バラの花嫁は俺のも。
it seems like he is separated from the other young prince somehow. Like
よく立ち上がれたな。
there was the duel
Right,
where
they
he
were
could-
saying like having grown up
受けるつもりな
and
ら
lost his like
筋の剣は
magic or whatever,
もう封印は
Peter Pan style.
封印は解けない。君には無理だ。俺に敗れた。好きにするといい。
Wakaba. Didn't expect to see her. I think a few more swords aren't gonna do too much at this point.
昔の俺に似ているな。俺もかつてそうだ。それが世界を変える唯一の、所詮誰かに依存した生き方しかできないのさ。世界を変える力を得るために世界というもの。
君と一緒にいることで。
That's the tear. The tear is the drop of water on the ring that I've always like, yeah, just chilling now. Didn't realize what happened. Right off on the carousel.
Will you tell me what will happen?
Tanner never listens to authority anyway.
Or remembers what happens, so this is actually fine. Sounds like a child's voice.
Is it Utena? Girl, young girl Utena? Is this score anything famous, Eric, or does it just sound like a...
This is just this show's theme song. Or one of them.
Sounds like a more Chamford version. Like, I've heard this before. Oh yeah, I'm watching the show. Shout. Gonna say the episode title. You don't shine, girl. That's why it was someday, I guess.
Oh.
She has bigger problems than Homer.
もちろん高等部に行くわ。別に決めてないけど。私はやっぱ女優でよ。10年後の同窓会を楽しみにしててよ。おい。そういうあんたはどうなのよ。何が？また玉の腰かな。びっくりよ。結局いい男を捕まえるのが女の器ってや。最近本命ができたのよ。ちょっと前も。何よ。なんか文句あんの？知らないの？ほらいたじゃない。いつもダンスをしてた子でさ。ああ思い出した。あの人か。ああいたいた。って入院したんじゃなかったっけ？入院なの？なんか恋人だか友達だか。私は理事長と問題を起こして退学になったって聞いたけど、まどうでもいいけどね。
I heard her show ended.
今の
Can I not ever let you?
遊びで遅れた分を取り戻す。
Cool baka.
遊びね。すぐ行く。次。
These motherfuckers.
Oh, they just all got rejected at the group rejection. Is your boyfriend Walkabout? Oh. Turnabout is fair play.
まだいくらも過ぎてないのに
Choo choo.
みんな彼女のことはすっかり忘れているようだと。消えてしまった彼女はこの世界ではただの落ちこぼれだ。バラの刻印の掟は一からやり直しだ。よろしく頼むよ、安心。
もういいんです。あなたはこの居心地のいい棺の中に。私は行かなきゃ。
行く。
がいない。あなたの世界からいなくなっただけ。
安心安心。
さよなら。
She's leaving. They can go on the outside world, Eric. Future getting frog molested. No, well, he escaped too.
必ず見つけるから待っててねウテナ
Anthony and Choo Choo in the city. Alright, well, we'll be waiting for this.
Were we told to watch the post-credit
this
sequence?
famed end credit.
Yeah, were we just told to watch this special end credit sequence, or is there something after?
I'm not sure. I was assuming there'll be something after this kind of song here, but we'll see.
Yeah, I got time.
If YouTube didn't have that, then I don't know what it would be. How they would, what they would.
Yeah.
No, I like your hat.
So there's this thing that happens in the Murakami stories that we were talking about a while back for the when we were talking about Drive My Car, where something is both literally happening and obviously a metaphor.
Yeah, but
because it is too absurd to really be happening, but again, it is actually happening. And sometimes when I'm reading like South American or Japanese like magical fiction or watching some shit like this, I forget that like that's just how shit like that works, and start looking for answers where they're
let's put a pin
where the
in that
answer is
for a
sometimes
sec.
that it won't be
困ったことがあっ
one.
たら何でも僕に相談してよ僕は君と友達になりたいんだそしていつか一緒にいつか一緒に
Very cute.
Was that? Yeah, well, yeah, you gotta finish your point. That got cut off there, but I guess that was it.
Oh, that was the end of the point. So yeah, like sometimes I just forget when I'm watching shit that it like has that kind of magical realism that both it is happening and it means something else, but also neither thing is true. In a weird way that I just like I sometimes have trouble getting my brain around like what magical realism entails.
Yeah, it's not as common, right? Well, you just mentioned like Asian or South American. It's not as common in North American storytelling thing.
Right. I mean, there's a way where culturally probably I just haven't trained my brain to think that way, but also I'm definitely like primed to assume that something is going to explain itself to me, right?
And we were kind of thinking that the whole time, I guess. But
Yeah, exactly.
really, it kind of. I mean,
Yeah, it does. There's a temptation I'm feeling to feel dissatisfied by the fact that Utena was like murdered by swords while they like destroyed the edifice of the clock tower and the castle and everything. And what the show is telling us, I guess, after that is that like she got to go on because she did her thing, right? She learned her lesson or whatever. If you're going to literally see it as purgatory, or at face value, she is no longer here. And she has in some way freed Auntie from having to be there.
but Auntie thinks she can still find her.
Because she's free to leave now. Whatever you want to say, like the rules of that, of this system of magical realism are, like if it's literally purgatory or whatever, it is true that she is gone and has freed Auntie to leave. And I guess my point is that there's that extra layer in there that I'm still desperate for. Just like, what happened? Where is she? What was all of this the whole time? Other than a metaphor for like adolescent womanhood and kind of an abuse narrative that we're not going to get, right? It wants you to draw your own conclusions, which is like satisfying in its own way. And also I could be wrong and just miss something.
No, I think you're basically on the right track. We can talk about how much we liked the show, or what, to the level of which we enjoyed this anime. And I think, for me, well, one thing I think it probably a rewatch would probably gain a lot more out of, I think. For one thing, it is hard when you're reacting to. On one hand, when you do reactions, you dig into the themes more and like you absorb more because you're talking about it afterwards and recapping the episode and stuff like that. But at the same time, you miss stuff during the actual episode, especially with these two people like I've been doing on this series, talking and stuff. So a rewatch, I think, for this type of show would be beneficial. I don't know if watching the dub. I usually don't watch dubs of anything, but I've had the idea to watch a dub through on like the second time maybe of a show I've seen the sub version of and see that might help with some of the translation things a little bit. I don't know, but yeah, I think that would help. But at a certain point, I don't know if this would be like an all-timer for me because it is largely metaphorical storytelling. Whereas like I feel like the animes that are really like my top favorites have more plot mechanics where I'm like really excited to watch the next one because like there's some, it doesn't always have to be like a twist, but you know, like there's some like wrinkles that happen throughout the show or the anime that keep me more involved, and I'm like, that's more clever or something, I guess. Where again, this is more, and I've known this for a while, I guess I didn't expect that to happen like in the past couple episodes of this, but yeah, this is more metaphorical mood piece, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with what I'm saying, or where does this stand for you in terms of, I don't know, I feel like people will be like, what are you talking about? This is our show, this is great, but I'm not saying it's not. I did enjoy it, but I don't know if
yeah,
you're obviously the big Eva fan. We kind of
I am. I'm a big Eva fan.
We kind of started this from, just to recap for people too, like if you didn't watch our first couple episodes of this series, we kind of started this from hearing that it was kind of along similar lines. And to be fair, the plot didn't matter, as it mattered a little more than this, but maybe not. It wasn't the point still in that one either.
I'd say it understood that it was to Ava's advantage for the metaphor to connect to real world events like more tangibly.
More so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
This had perfect confidence in its storytelling.
Yeah. And credit for originality with the dueling thing. Like I kind of mentioned that before.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it helps to, going along with your point, it serves to remove you as well as the viewer from that reality of what's something that's, because like the mechs war, you know, it doesn't happen now, but like you could conceive of it happening in the future and near future. Whereas, yeah, this dueling students, magical castle thing. But yeah, like kind of like along my point, I'm not saying this would be better at all, but like a lot of anime would take, I mean, there's a tons of anime that even I alone have watched where it starts at like a base level of something pretty out of this world, something you wouldn't think of, and they just present it as, this is what it is. This is like a fox girl going to school and they play magical volleyball or something, whatever. But with a lot of shows though, then it'll dig more into the world, into a plot line, not how Utena did it, but anyway. But that makes it this unique in its own right here, I think. And that's probably why it has endured, I would say. Obviously people, it seems like, love to, and talking about the rewatchability factor, it's just based on a lot of the comments we got alone that were so detailed, people really like to dig in on this, like it is like a novel or something almost.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that temptation too. Like the number of hours that I have spent watching like playthroughs and lore videos of the Drakengard and Nier series. I'm playing the two good games in that series myself. I'm definitely familiar with rewatch culture and what makes people come back to these things over and over. Is this something that I will return to in that way? Maybe? If only because I'm still 30% just fucking confused on what actually happened, and as we discussed, have kind of given myself the cop-out answer. It's not supposed to connect like one-to-one to the reality of the storytelling. It's supposed to be, like you said, a mood. It's a vibe, you know.
As a whole vibe. And then when it comes to like the characters and, well, there's the whole aspect, and we've talked a lot about it with the feminism angle, the LGBTQ angle, and then this came out in the mid-90s, obviously, so I think I mentioned it before, but like the creator of Steven Universe was very influential for her and for a lot of people because of those things specifically. So possibly at the time when this came out, it was more revolutionary. So maybe we see some more of these themes today more commonly, where the world has certainly changed quite substantially in the past 25 years, however. So what do you think about that aspect of things?
Well, it's certainly very gay, and in 1995, I assume that itself was revolutionary. Yeah, I think it could be gayer if it came out in 2017. well, what we got was clearly enough. Like, this is a beloved text, you know?
Yeah, and that's not exactly what I meant anyway. Like, not that it could be gay
Okay.
or whatever that, you know, but just like does the impact of seeing this type of theming, is it blunted somewhat these days?
I wouldn't say so. I think to make something like more on its nose. What am I trying to say? And let me say it carefully. I think when you're trying to communicate something like that and you say it too obviously, there are diminishing returns on like how effective it is, right? I'm not a big fan of speaking directly to camera, as you know. So like I thought this was like really effective and I would say not blunted by 27 years of time. No.
Okay, I think I agree. Just curious, yeah. So I'm pulling up the YouTube here because I want to see. It seems like, I mean, the credit does look different on here, but it ends. It's still ending with with Anthe and Chi Chi leaving. She says, "Wait for me, Utena." There's more of a credit than we got on the one we watched, I think. But then there's a post. It still just has them looking in on the picture like we saw.
So maybe we did in fact, we tried to that commenter, and
tried,
thank you
but-
very much, but maybe it's possible that we did in fact watch the exact same version you were trying to get us not to watch.
That's what it seems like to me, but I don't know, like, are people, I mean, presumably the people commenting watch the YouTube ones and know, so I guess what we're gonna have to be left with here is please point us into the direction of, or if the scene that we might have missed is out there somewhere separately, that would be the most easy thing. Like,
Yeah. I'd love to know, yeah.
obviously would love to hear people's comments on this. I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about? I started trying to go into like themes of the show in general, but like with the finale here itself, you know, we're already going way longer than normal, but it is the final episode.
Yeah, for my part, people are certainly tired of hearing me talk by now. Thanks for watching all this with us. I'm very fond of this show. I'll definitely see you all around.
All right, and like, yeah, well, so we'll probably do some type of other, even if we don't react to the film, which is definitely on the table still, we'll probably do some type of further wrap up or something, because I want to see what people's comments are. I want to see about that extra scene, what happened with that, and we'll continue. And you know, stick around with Drewz Viewz. Anna Monday shall return. Perhaps Eric shall return with it. We'll have to see if I can, you know, this is about a year, almost close to a year now. We'll have to see if I can drag him back for more or not. But
Or now is when I find out that Drew is just fucking tired of me.
yeah. Well, will Eric be replaced on the next show? We'll see. But yeah, it is fun having someone to bounce things off of and watch it together. So
Yeah, it's been a blast.
appreciate it, Eric. Really do appreciate it. Thanks for going on the journey with me here, with us all here. Yeah. But until next time something happens, I think we revolutionized the world. So
We did it, guys.
it's over. Mission accomplished. Peace.
あなたには何が起こったかもわからないんですね。